Hey guys, so we all know how important it is to have a really strong back when you're in tactical. The number of awkward objects you pick up from weird angles, you got to be bulletproof. What have we got in there? So hands up, who's had back pain before? And chances are, if you're watching, particularly if you've ever worn a uniform, either you or someone you know has had some savage back pain in the past. It's something that's almost an epidemic across the population, particularly within our community. So we figured we'd try and show you something to help out.
Bulletproof backs.
Sounds good, let's do it.
So what we thought we'd do is we throw together a little video of each of us have got an exercise that we like the most for helping to make our back bulletproof. So it's important to say at this point that we're not talking about if you've got acute back pain right now. These probably aren't the best things for you. This is if you've recovered from some back pain and you're looking to bulletproof it, as Danny was saying, before you go back to duty or you go back to ops.
What's your favorite exercise for your back?
So because this boy's here, my favorite is combining some hanging traction on the GHD with some back extensions. So the reason I like stacking the two of them is when you're laying over the top and you get that traction, you get some nice space in between the vertebrae. And you can also loosen off those muscles, particularly if the muscles through your lower back, your rectus spinae, if they're getting locked up from a spasm. Having that nice amount of traction is relatively low threat and can be nice and steady and can just kind of help you get moving. And if you combine that with some back extension, we can increase blood flow to the area as well, which is really good for long-term disc health. So to get that set up, what we're going to look to do is, I reckon that should be all right, Danny. I'm going to whack my feet in to the GHD. And I want to have the pads somewhere like where my short or boxer line is. And we're going to start with the traction. So I'm going to slowly lower myself down using the handles if I need to. And I'm just going to hang. So I want to take maybe 10 seconds or so here, doing some nice, deep, steady belly breathing. And each time I breathe out, I'm trying to release tension and let myself hang a little bit more. You might well get the chiropractor pop, 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 which feels real nice through the spine. But once you've done that 10 seconds or so, then we're going to work into the back extension. So for here, you're going to push down with your big toes into the plate. That helps fire the glutes first, then the hamstrings, then the opposite QL, the opposite back muscle. And you're going to curl yourself up. Pause, squeeze that glute, and then roll back down again. Oh, I love it. And then when you've finished, you want just like a decent pump, so don't be too strict on reps and sets. When you've finished, you can go back into that nice distraction, that nice hang, just to finish feeling good. So that's me. How about you boys?
Nolan? Yeah, mine requires this thing to be out of the way. I like to call this a hanging split squat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount the pull-up bar, and then I'm going to get into a split squat position, and I'm going to alternate my legs. I like this one because I feel like it helps me to activate my hips and my glute, which also helps me to protect my core, which also helps me to have a healthy back. Also, while I'm doing this, I want to try to make sure that my belly button is in tight towards my spine. And I can change up the variation and the frequency of how I'm doing this between going super fast or just kind of holding it in a static position. Feels good. Loosens you out too.
All right, so my favorite is the belt squat. So a lot of commercial gyms have belt squat machines. My Firehouse has one, but a lot of times people don't have access to that type of machinery. So we're gonna show you a way to kind of set this up to where you can do kind of your own do-it-yourself back squat. So you're gonna wanna find a dip belt, a bar, and a plate, however much weight you need. This is put into a landmine sleeve, but if you don't have a landmine sleeve, you can wrap a towel around that so you don't tear up your wall and just put it in a corner. It'll stay right there, all right? So you're gonna get over the top of it, get your dip belt, and the important part is you're going to want to put the chain between the collar and the plate itself. So you're not going to want the plate all the way up against the collar. You're going to want to leave yourself a little bit of space, and I'll show you why.
About a 1-inch gap.
Yep. So once you get that hooked in, you can slide the plate back a little bit if you like, just to kind of make it tight. So you can get in this position right here, stand up, and that way, that collar is going to keep your chain from sliding back down the bar. Now, why these are important, you can go down kind of into a squat and back up, So you can squat, get all the benefit from that squat movement without axially loading your spine. So if you've got a back problem, not currently, but if you've had back problems in the past, then you're gonna be able to use this to keep you in a good position. So it's just a regular squat. That force is going straight down, squat down, back up, just like that. All right.
It seems good too that that position of the belt is also putting pressure on your hips,
Correct.
decompressing your spine.
So yeah, and it's not a perfect scenario. A commercial belt squat machine would be a little bit better because you could actually march and it's gonna rock your hips and it's gonna feel really good on your low back for decompression. This particular setup is gonna be a little tough with the plate right here, but if this is all you have, then you can still get some belt squats in.
Bulletproof back.
So chances are, if you're going to be doing a 20, 30-year tactical career, you're probably going to come across low back pain, either you or maybe someone you're working with. So having these kind of exercises in your back pocket just to help protect that back, create that bulletproof back, that's the way to go. If with any of this stuff you're struggling, like you can't quite adapt it for your own setup, or you got any questions, just reach out to us coaches and we'll help out for you.
Protect your back.